Late.
We're live. Scary.
Are you playing like royalty-free Halloween music? I love it. The lowest budget of lows.
It's scary. Are you afraid?
Why do I keep jumping over you?
Are you guys afraid? I'm scared.
Doesn't even sound good in the mic.
I'm scared, guys.
Hey, this time start with why it's called Name This Podcast. How about in the middle, after every topic, we tell everybody why it's called Name This Podcast.
Oh, we're already live.
Alright, I'm switching the category.
Okay.
Send me another invite. Talk shows. Let's hope it sticks. Doesn't always stick.
I'm so afraid to approach this house, guys. I don't know if I could take it. Who's there? Who's there?
This is the preview pre-show. Welcome y'all to the pre-show. Come. Let them all roll in.
Sounds like dying goats.
Sounds horrible.
Royalty free.
It's the pre-show. Hey, everybody, who's going first, by the way? Should probably end with mine.
Yeah, because you
mine
got
is
the
the
special.
topic.
You got the special.
Yeah, I'm gonna get kicked from this. Once again, just like last week, nothing's loaded all the way, and you guys are standing on.
Alright, he doesn't have to be on screen. He can still talk. Let's go ahead and officially start it here. Countdown.
Are you ready?
Just keep working. Just keep working on trying to get in while we go live.
Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Spike.
I'm ready. I'm scared. Go.
Welcome, everybody, to Name This Podcast, Episode 7, Halloween Special. Oh, I'm scared. Who's the stranger? How's it going, Spike?
Hello, Roots, friend.
How's
Halloween
it?
special.
Yes.
This is officially episode 7. So I want to congratulate you on lucky number 7. We made it.
Yeah, I need a high
bunch
five
of
emote
heroes.
in this game.
High five.
Yeah, high five, like men. That's how men used to
Here.
high five back in the day.
Intro. Halloween special.
I need to turn up my sound effects a little. Oh man, how's it going, Ghost of Highball?
I'm good. Happy early Halloween.
For those uninitiated, Highball's having server arrival troubles, but we'll get him in here eventually. But for the time being, we have the Ghost of Highball Future with us. And just so everybody knows here, welcome to Deep Roots Games. This is the Tribe, Deep Roots, Spike, and Highball, and this is our weekly podcast. Sorry we started a couple minutes late today trying to get our Halloween sound effects in order.
Why don't you go ahead and tell them why we called it Name This Podcast?
All right. So for the uninitiated who haven't been with us for 6 other episodes, it's called Name This Podcast because we want you to submit a name for this podcast. And if we like your name, we'll change the name of the podcast. So go ahead if you
user interface.
For those who don't know, if you're watching us live, go ahead and get your little Twitter fingers out. Go ahead and type away what you think the name should be. If you're watching us on the Tube of You, yeah, little Twitter fingers. And if you're watching us on the Tube of You, then go ahead and drop a comment. Leave a comment, likes, drop kick the subscribe button. And that's what the kids say nowadays, right?
Drop kick it.
Drop kick it.
For
Drop
sure.
kick it. DDT it. Smash it. Ding our dongs. Do whatever the popular kids are saying. All right, so it's Halloween, guys. Anybody dressing up?
Anybody dressing up? No.
All right. Nobody's dressing up. I'm not dressing up. I'm going to watch people dress up, though.
So before we start, I just want to go ahead and say that I think you officially. You got a little scaredy cat.
I wasn't scared. My attention span was extremely low.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
What?
I think you got a little scared in your booties.
So, for those of you that don't know Deep Roots, he suffers from issues. Even though it was a long time ago, I was medically diagnosed with ADHD. I have a hard time paying attention to things. So I tried to play The Evil Within this last week, and it develops so slow. It's really cool. The action scenes are unique. It's like Time Splitters meets Resident Evil kind of thing. But it's just the development of the story is so slow. I feel like this. I just can't do
Was
it.
that scary at any point?
It wasn't scary. It was like, wow, that is wow. Like,
So it was like gory.
oh yeah, dude just like stabbed me and lifted me up and then freaking pile drove me to the ground. I'm like, wow, what is that? It's not.
But you didn't get scared.
There was like 1 or 2 times where I was like, oh shit, gotta move. And then when I got caught, I just laughed. Yeah.
Got
No, it's not it's not like the jump out, scare you, loud screechy noise. No, it was nothing like that. It was just like really gory and violent.
Well, I think we always start the podcast off with what have we been playing over the past week, kind of just to catch everybody up on the gaming that's been going down.
Games.
Yeah, Highball, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing a great game, but it gets old for a lot of people when they come back around to. But I've been playing a great game called Find a Job.
Find a job. Oh yeah, that's a fun game. Man, I
It's a
love that
little
one.
repetitive and it gets a little dull, but there's always those high points in where it's just like, hey, you know what? This is okay. It's okay. Keep me up. It keeps me awake. Keeps me going.
Nice.
Aside from that, I've been playing Black Ops with you goofs. Other than that, I've been playing to appease my somber mind when I'm just chilling on the side. Just a little game on my phone app game called Smart Glass, which is just you got to make a glass fill up with water by drawing specific lines and shapes to get the water in it. I highly recommend it for anybody who just needs to sit back, relax, and fuel their brain.
Yeah, all right. What's it called
Fuel
again?
the brain.
Smart Glass.
Smart Glass. All right, cool.
I think. Like
We're plugging it.
My
They're not
phone's in
paying
my
us
hand.
for it.
No, it's called Happy Glass. Happy
Sponsored.
Glass. That's what it's called.
Happy Glass.
Yeah, where's the sponsors? Highball, you didn't make sure we're getting sponsored for that plug.
Somebody get them on the phone. We need Happy Glass to give us some money.
Yeah, who's the
As if we
developers?
would ever be sponsored by anybody.
Well, personally, I've been just ripping through Call of Duty with the zombies with you guys, but my wife has been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the other TV next to me, and I feel like I've almost played the whole game just kind of watching her out of the side of my eye. So, I gotta say, that game, just from watching it, looks like it's awesome. Like, when she's done with it, I'm probably gonna go ahead and pick it up because I mean, I know it ruins the whole Assassin's Creed story, but just the gameplay, like the fighting and everything, looks really good. So I'm pseudo playing Assassin's Creed right now. Oh my god, spooktacular! Someone behind me! Ah! I'm alive! Why you scare me?
So, Spike, I gotta say, I'm a little jelly you got Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But
well,
I'm
man,
even.
I don't get to play it until she's done with it.
I'm even jellier than the people that are playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, getting good reviews, eh?
Jelly.
Yes, but my problem is I don't morally like what those two publishing companies do with all their other games.
Root's taking the high ground again.
So I'm not saying I'll never play them. Maybe it'll be a topic for another day, but I always just think to
I
myself,
probably will when it gets cheaper. Down the line.
my thought is always going to be, at what point do you just say, screw your morals, or screw, oh, it's not okay what they're doing there, but I'm going to give them money anyways,
Mm-hmm.
But topic for another day. Roots, what are you playing? Well, I am playing the obvious answer, Call of Duty with you guys, Blackout, Zombies, multiplayer, all of it.
We should let the world out there know of our amazing feat that we accomplished, guys.
That we almost had the Easter egg beat, and then it blue screened on us for the third day in a frickin' row. Thanks, Treyarch.
No, the wins, the big dubs.
2 victories in 3 games, I think it was.
Hell yeah.
2 for 3.
Over like a week ago.
Why you gotta bring us down? Don't bring us down.
I'm still riding the high, dude.
Yes, it happened. It happened, everyone who actually cares. It happened.
Highball, just so you know, after you guys logged off last night, I played one single game.
Who watched that?
Yeah, I was the second to last person dead. I threw 2 9-bangs, 2 grenades, and a Molotov. Nothing hit this guy. He threw a 9-bang. I didn't even hear it drop or nothing. He 9-banged me and killed me. I finished number 2.
I actually think you might have threw it over them, like, real far.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe so.
Second place is pretty damn good in solos, dude. Like,
yeah, it was a good game. You got, like, what, 5 kills? Yeah, it was. You were really doing well.
Yeah, but
I would have watched it, but I went fast asleep last night as soon as I got on.
But that's not all the Roots is playing. Roots. What else you playing? I'm playing through an oldie but goodie. Something that I never beat, called The Witcher 3. Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher. Yes, I am playing through The Witcher 3. And if you guys follow, you can watch me beat that game, because it's going down.
Yeah, so please follow DeepRoots_games. And you can watch them play The Witcher and beat it, and it's awesome.
Yes, and then after, I might slide in. I might
DMs?
slide in the DMs. My issue right now, I want to play the Resident Evil remaster. I have it downloaded, but I just know it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be so slow.
I'll watch you play that, man. You gotta do that on Halloween if you're just kind of chilling out or whatever. You should play it for a couple hours on Halloween. It's the Roots Halloween game.
Yeah, I should. Maybe that'll be it. Although I definitely want to be somewhere in the game. I don't want to be like the start is really slow in that game, so I don't want to be just at the start.
It starts. I mean, it starts off pretty actiony.
Yeah, I just got to
Yeah,
remember
especially when
what
you
to
get to
do.
The classic corridor with the I don't want
With
to
the
spoil it
Zod,
for
with the
anybody.
what? Oh, I know it. I know it. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
being
you should definitely play that.
yeah, I'll see what I can do. With that being said, we're starting off the podcast. Shall I go ahead? I want to save yours for last, Spike. You got a good topic.
Okay.
So, if I may, I apparently
Topic
have
one,
someone's.
who's you doing
I
it?
apparently am wearing someone's ass for a hat. All right, so topic one. Where's the drum roll? Where's drum roll?
Oh, wait. Oh, get off of my drums.
Copyright. All right. Topic number one. Gentlemen, I was thinking about this today. That's how lazy I am. Don't tell anybody. Came up with my topic today when I was sitting around on the John thinking. Man,
That's where you do your best thinking.
it is. It truly is. You know, when you're thinking so hard, you get red marks on your legs.
Jesus.
So,
You've been there a while.
Yeah, when you get the elbow marks from like leaning, browsing your phone or whatever. I'm not the only one that does it. Don't you lie to me. So I was sitting in a somewhat slumped over position because that's what you do. And I was thinking, man,
Squatty potty.
yeah, man. I was thinking squatty potty. And I was thinking, what are some games that I regret not playing or that I wish I finished and I didn't?
Good topic. Why don't you start off?
All right, so when I was thinking about this, I was like, man, there's either too many to think of or not enough to think of, and I've come to the conclusion there's way too much. I thought I was pretty good about beating games, especially when I was younger, but there's a couple games I did not finish. One of them that I wish I finished was Final Fantasy. Which one was Titus? That was 10, right?
Titus is in 10, yeah.
10 with Titus, and then the dude with the red coat and the badass sword. And then you
That's
know it's
Orin,
getting.
and that's
yeah,
10.
Orin. Oh, yeah.
So you never beat 10?
No, I made it to. Is it Sigmund?
The dude with the crazy purple hair? You fight him a couple times.
You fight him 3 times, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
You fight him once on a
He's
ship,
not the
once on a mountain.
final boss. Yeah, there's because you get to go and fight Sin or whatever. It's like a gigantic monster.
So my problem with 10 was the second time you fight him on the mountain, the monkey dude, his homeland or whatever, you fight him on the mountain, and this fight is like 100% like just randomized.
Uh-huh.
If he keeps rolling the X-Slash, you can't beat him. It's like literally you just play the game until he doesn't X-Slash you 2 or 3 times in a row. And I played for days and he just kept X-slashing. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not beating this. And at some point I just gave up. But that's not the game I completely regret not playing. There was a game on the PlayStation that I thought was going to be like the PlayStation mascot. I don't know if
Crash
you guys...
Bandicoot.
Nope. I don't know if it was before him or after him. You guys remember demo discs back in the day?
Sure.
Medieval was on a demo disc and I played it, but I never owned a PlayStation 1, so I never got to play it. I always wanted to play it. Always. Did you ever play Medieval?
Yes, actually I did. And
I'm jealous.
It was really, really good.
So, I played the demo and I just fell in love with it, but being a kid and, my mom did, say my mom, because I lived with her. My mom did a great job. She raised a lot of kids. but we weren't in a position to buy everything under the sun. I had a Nintendo 64. I didn't have a PlayStation. But that's the one game I always wanted to play and never got to. I think the character was great and everything. But there's hope because I've heard rumor of a Medieval remaster coming out. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yep.
So Spike, what's your game that you may have never beaten or never got the chance to play?
Wait, I just gotta say, man, that Medieval game, it was really good. I don't know how it'll translate over to like a remaster. But
Probably mediocre at best.
I used to love the whole absurdity of the main character. Like, he has like the skull and his jawbone's missing, and like he's just so like wonky looking. Oh man, classic.
Dude,
classic
yeah.
PS1 feel to it, you know?
Yeah, I love the character. I always thought, man, this guy's gonna be on every PlayStation ever. And then, who made that game? That wasn't Naughty Dog, was it?
I don't think so. But I know I played it, and I think I owned it. Maybe I didn't own it, but I definitely played it, but I didn't beat it or anything. So, you know, maybe that'd be a cool one to go back and actually beat. There was a while there when, speaking on this topic of your whole, you know, games that you played and not played and regretted playing, or not regretted not playing. For a while there, I was getting Redbox, or not? Oh no, what's it called? GameFly. I was getting GameFly for a while, and it was like filling this need for me for like beating a game, because I was this whole thing where I was like wanting to like write down the name of every game I beat and keeping like in a journal. It was the kind of same thing where I was doing it with books too. Like, I'd read a book, I'd write it down. I was keeping track of everything I'd ever beat. And I don't know where it is now, but I could probably dig it out of my office, like this journal that just has all of the games I've beaten in the past like 5 years or whatever. But that was like 5 years ago. But anyway, I used to play a game, rip through it as hard as I could to beat it, and then send it back. So that would be like a week's worth of time, and I beat a lot of games in that time frame. A lot of games that I probably never would have touched if it wasn't for GameFly.
Oh man, I agree. Too Human. I beat that game because of that, and I actually thought it was decent. I just thought it wasn't very polished.
Too Human? Yeah, I mean, you can't even play that anymore, right? It's gone completely dark.
Yeah, they had to take it off shelves and everything because Silicon Knights, something with the Unreal Engine, I believe, where I think they like illegally modified it or something. Oblivion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I guess they told them what the engine needed to do, and because it didn't, they modified it illegally. Because I guess when you get these engines, if they don't sign off that you're allowed to modify it, then they don't let you. I think one of the big things companies do now, they'll work alongside the engine developer, but the developer gets to keep those mods to sell off to someone else later. Like, let's say water effects don't do what you want, and you're a developer and you figure out how to do it. Now the engine developer gets to keep what you did, so they could translate it to someone else's project if they want. But yeah, I think what they did, they altered the engine so heavily, and their whole thing was that they told them what they needed up front, and the engine didn't provide it, so they had to do it themselves. Because what you're trying to develop a game, what are you going to do? Just stop developing the game and throw everything away? So yeah, Too Human was great.
Yeah, there was a game I got GameFly that everyone talks about. I can't remember the name of it. Sandstorm or something. Like it was like a first-person shooter where you go in the desert.
You sure it wasn't third person? Spec Ops: The Line.
Spec Ops: The Line. It was, yeah. And that's one of those games where like I never would have bought it, and it would have been always one of those games that you hear people saying it's like a critical gem or whatever, and it's like a diamond in the rough, and I never would have played it if it wasn't for GameFly. And I'm glad I did, because they're right. That was a really, really cool storyline and pretty decent gameplay. But anyway, getting off track, I think for me, one of the games that I regret not playing is the whole idea of the Switch. It's been out for a couple years now. We haven't got it. And the Legend of Zelda new one,
Breath of the
what's it called again?
Wild.
Breath of the Wild. That is my game. Like, I'm a sucker for survival games. Like, if you look at all my Steam games, they're all like, just basic survival games. And so to have a Zelda game being a survival game is like fucking, I'm jizzing everywhere, because that's
Big world.
yeah, like I would play that. So I kind of regret the fact that not getting it yet, because it just seems like all the good reviews and just Zelda in general. I mean, I've played almost every Zelda game between me and my wife, and yeah, so that's my pick. My regrets in life: Breath of the Wild. One day, maybe I'll play you.
I agree. I wish I got the chance to play. I actually did play a minute, like 10, 20 minutes of it, and it was pretty cool. My one complaint from the 20 minutes was the same thing Mr. Sterling said, which was weapons literally break in just a handful of hits, and it's retarded.
Yeah, because like, isn't there like special weapons? You can't like repair them or anything, right?
Nope. Once they break, you toss them and you move on, which is cool, but at least let me use the weapon for like an hour.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird. I guess the whole, they want you to use up the resources to make new stuff. Yeah.
Highball! Highball!
So, a game that I never got to play that I wish I could play.
Yeah. Or a game you never beat or something like that. Like what's one of your video game regrets?
Regrets.
Ever finishing Assassin's Creed 3. No.
That's a pretty decent ending. Besides the Desmond part, the whole other
spoiler alert for anybody who has played that game. It's been
20-year
like
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I would
I
actually
didn't say what happened.
a game that I wish I played that I never had a chance to, whether it's present or way back in the day. Last of Us. I'll admit that it's because of the big old craze that everybody was all, smiles and jumping for joy because how good Last of Us was, but I never actually got to play it officially. Like, I played multiplayer, I think, with you, Spike, when I was at your place when I was visiting, and besides that, I've only seen stuff. I've only seen things. I've never actually gotten to play it. And what really excited me to play that game was just the fact that it's post-apocalyptic and just very strong story-driven, game. Like, I think that would be something that I could go back and see myself actually playing because I never got to.
Yeah, The Last of Us is like, it's there for like games everyone has to play in order to be able to talk about stuff. Like, it's it's up there with Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I agree. As far as like the PlayStation lineup goes, at least one God of War game and The Last of Us is like the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the game closest to like a feeling of a movie, like an Oscar. Like, the feels are gonna be heavy in that, man.
Yeah.
You know what?
Is that it? That's your biggest regret? Last of Us? That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, that is. No, I tell you what though, it's what you were saying, Spike. The feels moments. I don't know about you. Maybe I don't know how invested you are. Did you? Oh, you didn't even play the new God of War, did you?
I platinumed it.
Okay. Highball didn't play the new God of War. Yeah, Highball didn't. I don't know about you, Spike.
He played the remaster. He played the God of War 3 remaster.
Okay, I don't know you, but this new God of War at the end, I started to get those little feels. I was like, oh no. Because, the part where you're reading everything on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, he already knows. Yeah, I started to get the feels.
Like, I already know what the big twist is. Like, for anybody listening, like,
No
I
spoilers.
already know.
That game's too new.
Like, I'm not gonna say anything, but I already know what the big twist possible surprise is. So that's cool. I don't mind trying to play God of War, but it's Last of Us that I actually don't even think I know how that story ends. That's how much I stayed away from it because I just didn't want to ruin it for me.
I tell you what, I think that game was a lot better about not spoiling the ending, like not having it out there than most games do, because I remember I didn't play it till the remastered version on the PS4, and the only reason I played it was because it came with my PS4, the digital copy. Yeah, if it was a disc, I would have sent it to you, but it's a digital copy. But I played it and I was like, wow, that was, it was already out for like what, a year or two before then. And
Yeah, I have it on PS3 and PS4.
yeah, oh man, and it was already out for a year or two. And when I played it, I was like, this whole time I didn't even know what the hell was going on at the end of the game. So it definitely made the game better by not knowing, though, because if I would have known, I could have seen it taking away some of the emotion.
You end up eating the girl, don't you?
Yeah, The Last of Us was definitely one of those just
So I
wow.
want to put a little spin on your topic if I can, Mr. Bruce.
Yes.
So I was just thinking in my brain here that
Thinking.
the whole idea of like games you never got to play, like when you guys were little and you used to go into Walmart or Target or like some store and they would have the console that you could play, right? Like in the electronics section.
Yeah.
You'd always tell your mom or dad, hey, I'm going over to the games while you shop, right? And then you'd go over there and you'd play a game because you knew that you'd never get to play it at your house, right? What game jumps to your head that you played in the store on the consoles there that you just never had in your house?
Holy shit.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you mine while you guys are thinking. So I never had a Sega Genesis at our house, and when we used to go to Target and stuff, they had one you could play there, and it had a game in there called Vector Man.
Oh yeah, Vector Man.
Yeah, he was like this green, like a bunch of green balls.
Yeah.
And they had Vector Man and Bugsy.
Yeah.
It was like a cat game. And
Earthworm Jim.
And Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah.
And I remember playing those games at the store and just thinking like, this is the only time I play it, so I'm gonna like sit here as long as I can while my mom's shopping.
Oh man,
And,
I had a buddy that had all those, Spike. Man, I know what you're talking about. I didn't have a Sega myself either.
So when you guys went to the store, did you play any games in the stores?
Trying to think.
What's a store?
You know what I mean? Like the consoles, they still do it. Like they still have them set up.
I know. I'll go next then, Ruth, while you take your time. Like, I'll be honest, like, anytime I was a kid and my folks go to the store for us was like an hour away. Like, so we would get to the store and get in, get out. We never would really have time to loiter or just go and look around. My folks anytime would be like, hey, I'm going to go over here. No, you can't. No, you got to stay here with us. No. Only time I could actually get near the video game section was when my folks would be in the entertainment area. And I'd be like, video games, and I would feel like I had to actually sneak over to stare at the glass case to look at a game and only take in 5 seconds until my folks go like, get back over here. And I'd be like, oh. And I do vaguely remember like actually touching the controller on the thing, just quick enough to be, oh, I'm touching it. Get back over here. Oh, okay, all right. And then I go back over and stuff. I personally didn't get into video games until like I was like 13 years old, because like my folks just didn't really. I wasn't into video games. I was into toys, like actual hands-on toys, like Ninja Turtle, Power Rangers, and stuff.
Sure.
Video games didn't become a part of my life until I don't even know. Like my first games I remember playing, like wrestling games and stuff. Like that's what got me into video games, wrestling games. But like my first PlayStation, my first console, I had Nintendo. I played Nintendo. Well, okay, so let me retract what I said. Video games, as we're speaking about them now, where they're just die-hard, a fabric of everybody's lives. that's not the same as just having video games back when we were kids and just playing them when we got our homework done, or playing them on the weekends, or playing them at friends' houses. What I'm referring to is like just video games, regular part of my daily life. That didn't come until I was 13. Before that, we had Nintendo, we had Super NES, we had N64, but we were only allowed to play those for like 2 hours a day. So it didn't become regular for me. And so it wasn't until like...
I don't think it was for any of us, really.
Like, it wasn't really...
Games are so hard, you couldn't really play them that long anyway.
Yeah, I'd say when I got my first PlayStation, that was when I started playing video games vigorously. And so I really don't have a memory of going to the store and playing any games on that. I kind of vaguely remember Fusion Frenzy on Xbox when the Xbox came out.
Fusion Frenzy! Wow, yeah, I remember that.
That's the only one I can really think of to say I know the name.
Wow, that used to be fun. Fusion Frenzy.
That was Mario Party before Mario Party.
Yeah, it had like 4 mini games. Yeah, I remember that. Wow, throwback.
Throwback. So, I'm just gonna say, Highball, I know where you're coming from, brother. So my family.
No, you don't, man.
My family was kind of the same way, except the whole thing was, number one, they didn't want me fucking up nothing in the store, and number two, if you're not gonna buy it, don't touch it.
Wow, that sucks.
Well, I'm like that.
Little things?
Few and far between.
Question is, was it because you broke stuff a lot? That's the question, Bruce. Was there a good reason?
Not sure, but I just that's why to this day, right? When I go to look at cars, motorcycles, or whatever, the salesperson will be like, "Sit on it, sit in it, go here, go there, touch it," and I'm just like, "No, no." No, I'm very much like that, and I'm not mad because I think in some ways that makes me a more respectable person. Like, I don't lean on anybody's car or anything like that, you know. But
I could just picture you doing that at a dealership. Like, come on, take a seat, get in there, see how it feels, and you're like, dude, no, you have no idea how badly my mom will whoop my ass.
No, it's not like that, but it's just like more of a respect thing, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But I will say, the one game I remember seeing a lot of, because I didn't have a Sega as well, although I did get to play it at a friend's house eventually, but a game that I wish I had myself, Sonic from back in the day.
Yep,
like Sonic 1, like the original.
Yes, and I'm gonna also throw an honorable mention to the Sega Dreamcast as a whole. I never owned a Dreamcast.
The Tails.
Yeah. So honorable mention as well to the Sega Dreamcast as a console as a whole. I never owned one, and when they had the demo booths, I always wanted to play, but I really couldn't. My parents were always like, "Come on, don't touch it." I'm like, why not? It's there for me to play. Nope, just don't touch it. We gotta go. We're like Highball said, not much of loiterers. We're not sitting here looking around, and we're just get in, get what we need, and keep on moving. Which, I understand a little bit. My mother was a little bit more lenient with that. Sometimes she'd give me a couple minutes to play a game, but for the most part, when I was younger, it was don't touch it. Come on.
Did you guys ever get to try out the Nintendo Virtual Boy?
No.
I never saw it in my life ever.
I've seen it.
Yeah, they had that at the store on a trial thing, and I remember going there and seeing like, oh, dude, I'm gonna try this out. You stick your head in it; it's like red and black inside, and it hurts your head after like 2 minutes of looking in it. Anyway, I never would have got to have even tried it if it wasn't for trying it at the store. But yeah. So sorry to derail it. I know that's kind of a little off topic.
Yeah, you brought the mood down, man.
No, the Virtual Boy. I remember seeing the Virtual Boy, but I never got to try it myself. But yeah, I heard the same thing. I heard it made a lot of people, nauseous and stuff like that trying to play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that was like predated proto VR tech. That was like, you're trying to make a plane and then you'd forget the wings.
Well, I remember like when they had the VR where you actually stood on a platform and it had like railings around it, and man, I remember that. That was
You only
cool.
find it at the super malls or mini malls.
I saw him in an arcade place near me, like an arcade entertainment center, kind of like
Yeah.
a Dave and Buster's thing.
Sure, it wasn't an arcade in the mall.
No, it was it down Clematis Street? I'm not sure. It was like towards the downtown area. They had like an arcade over there that had the little virtual roller coaster and all that in it.
Like downtown in Orlando?
No, downtown South Florida.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So Highball, I heard you bringing a topic to the table today, sir.
Okay, so that's the end of that topic. That was a horrible segue, Roots. That was terrible. Like, I'm docking you like 5 EXP. From
Well,
that segue. That
I
was
did
so
the
bad.
transition drums.
Yeah, he did the transition drums. Moving
That is
on.
not, no, you need a segue with the drum beat. Like, you don't just go, boom. Right, your turn. Go.
I didn't say your turn. I said, hey, Highball, I
wait.
heard you have a topic.
In between the topics, we need to plead for followers. So anybody who might be watching, please follow me through
We beg of you, follow us, please.
2/3 of us are jobless.
Hey, Roots is a smart guy. He got that math right, so hire him. He knows 2/3 properly.
Oh, I know math.
He would have got. I would have got that job that he applied for if that counted on math like that too. Okay, yeah. So Halloween special of our 7th episode of Name This Podcast. Which, by the way, any of you watching and following, give us a name, and we'll come back around to it later. We might actually put that as our actual podcast name.
On that billboard
Well,
over there.
On a beautiful shipwrecked wood,
expensive.
expensive.
Hey,
Like,
that kind of wood's expensive nowadays.
how many pixels do you think that cost right there? Like,
Way too
no,
many
but
for me.
Halloween special topic I have in mind. It's a trick and treat, actually, because it's not the topic I told you guys about. The treat is, it's a topic I think you pretty much enjoy. So, trick treat, bitches.
If I'm on an island, what game do
No. In honor of Halloween being just days away from us, the horror day of the year, which that's what it is anyways now.
Are you gonna take my
All about
topic?
Horror, scary, spooky
Take
stuff.
the topic!
If you could make your own video game based on a prized horror franchise of Hollywood, what video
Okay.
game would you make? Horror movie to game. Which one would you do, and why?
What was that again? Please repeat that one time for me.
So any horror movie franchise that you know of, which one would you want to make into a video game that you feel would be deemed worthy as being a good choice for a video game?
Okay. Why don't you start us off while we get to think now? Let's see.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start us off with probably one that's gonna trump everybody because I think it's the best one. I think the only horror movie to video game, and we've seen these things done over the years through our lives of horror games and like attempts that have failed. Hell, we just got done playing Dead by Daylight, a month ago. That was quite an experience.
And Freddy. They're not Freddy, Jason, I mean.
Friday the
And Jason.
13th. Disappointment.
Friday the 13th game. I honestly would say though that the best option to be made into a horror video game is Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger, because you have the potential of fantasy-driven story that you have Freddy in the real world, but then you delve into the dream world where you can have anything happen. And I base that ideal off of the Friday the 13th Dream Warriors installment that came out in the early 90s, where the kids were in the dreams, but they were controlling the dreams, where they were making weapons and armor and suits and giving themselves powers in the dream world to fight Freddy Krueger. And so, just based on that slight concept, I think that would work really well as a video game. That you have to fight Freddy in the dream world.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. I'm excited. When does it go into development?
As soon as we start making money off this damn Twitch stream.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. Game actually would probably be publishers. Oh, Spike,
I mean, to get
you
the
might
rights to that
actually.
would probably be a nightmare.
Like, just imagine.
Yeah.
Like, imagine.
Look
that
what
you
happened
get,
to Jason.
Picture it this way. Imagine you could get Last of Us like storytelling and graphics engine possibly, and then you also can just see the story of all the characters in the real world, and then they go into the dream world, and you deal with Freddy, and then you come out of the dream world in the real world, and it starts bleeding through. Like, we've seen games like that play out, and it really can work. And if you do it horror-esque wise, like, I think that would be the only brilliant direction for a horror video game. That really is a video game, and not just survive by running around and hiding, you know?
Right. Actually put a storyline to it.
Yep.
So I was thinking, for me, I find The Grudge to be really scary for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, like, it gets me every time. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, but I don't know. So I don't know if that's been made into a game. I don't think it has. But I would really shit my pants if I played a Grudge horror game. Just for everything
That's
from the
gotta be
audio.
done VR then, dude. VR's gotta be the way to go with that.
I would.
Oh my
I would.
goodness.
I think I could do it. I just don't. That would.
Because
I
you
would,
need the girl coming out of the TV. That's what you need.
no, that was The Ring. It's not.
Oh,
The Grudge
okay.
was
See,
the.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
They're just too much alike.
So the Grudge one is mostly in that house. I mean, they could probably do it pretty well, like, you know, where it's mostly set in the house and you have to survive the nights or whatever. Like maybe like Five Nights at Freddy style or something.
That's gonna be a big house.
But
Shit,
that
Resident
would
Evil
be
5 did
pretty
it.
Scary, I think. I think it could be done pretty well too, especially today with the graphics and the VR stuff.
Wasn't the Grudge the one where the ghost was the thing crawling down the stairs upside down and up along the walls and shit?
Yeah. She makes that noise because her throat was cut.
Yeah, the Ring that I'm thinking of. The Ring is the videotape one, and it's
Stop
just
it!
a girl
Stop
that shows
it!
up to- yeah, and I'm thinking of the stupid Ring movie where the girl shows up and then everybody dies smiling like they had a good time dying.
Yeah. No, the Grudge. Yeah, Grudge just, I don't know. It just freaked me out when I saw it. And
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
It'd be
I mean,
the best
it's
horror
kinda
game that you
hard
would never
because-
play.
You can't really fight the ghosts in Grudge, so I mean, it would be one of those things you just try to run away as much as you can.
Yeah, like I said, like it'd be a VR experience more than anything. Just
Yeah, maybe.
You know. Like I agree. Like that would be really creepy to see something crawling on the ceiling and then with a head spun around going ah.
Fucking run.
Have any of you guys ever played Fatal Frame?
Fatal Frame.
No, but I
Yeah.
know about it.
So I think it would have a Fatal Frame type-esque feeling, and those games. So I think that's my choice there. The Grudge.
Fatal Frame.
I could make a horror game for that for sure.
I like it. I'd be down for that. I would love
Mr.
to see how
Roots
somebody can make it into an interactive.
Probably seen like
a
3 horror movies your whole life, right?
No, I've seen way more than that.
This
So-
movies don't count.
Oh shit. So I'm gonna twist. I like when we do this. I'm gonna twist your idea up a little bit. So, what I would make is, and the genre is kind of pending. It would be like a survival slash MMO-ish game, maybe kind of like Destiny, where you
Okay.
go into. There's different areas in the world, and then from those areas you go into different instances. And I would not limit this to movies, but it would be mostly movies. Where you go, you take a couple friends with you, and you kind of like Highball said too, you battle Jason, Freddy, Swamp Thing, Nemesis, but it's an open.
Swamp Thing.
But it's
Swamp
like
Thing wasn't horror. Swamp
Yeah,
Thing
he
was a hero.
was.
What the hell are you talking about?
The Scream guy.
Dracula, the Scream guy, Scream mask face guy. Whatever.
Leatherface.
Yeah, what basically whatever.
Hellraiser
It doesn't
guy.
matter. Yeah, Hellraiser, all of them are in this world, and it's not like a choose your adventure, but like, oh hey guys, hey man, Jason's been murdering everybody. Do we want to try and go there and take him on? But the game would not be like grab your guns and swords. It would be more survival tactical, like you try and make him go into a trap, or you try and team up. It couldn't be like a straight up fight, because we all know how many horror movies does someone straight up fight someone, and like Jason, you stab him and then he squeezes your head and pops it like a
Your
pimple.
eyeballs pop out.
Yeah. So the game, as much as it would be a teaming up, trying to battle the bad guy, I would try and see about incorporating elements of surviving a fight rather than going in there with your guns and we shot him and we jumped around and he couldn't touch. No, it would be more survival fighting kind of
So would it
situation.
be like
you just
almost
made
like
me think of. Go ahead, Spike.
What was that, Spike?
would it be like Shadow of the Colossus, where you basically fight a bunch of boss fights around the world, and
Yeah.
so like a multiplayer Shadow of the Colossus with horror figures as the bosses?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think
That'd be
that's
cool.
a good representation.
You just made me think, as you were describing that, you went a whole other direction, but where you were going at first, I was like, is he really getting at like the horror edition of Super Smash Bros? Where you could be any horror figure to fight each other on a battlefield that's
hey,
reminiscent of
that
a
was
horror
my
movie?
that was my second idea, was a fighting game
That'd be
with
cool.
horror characters.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
But again,
Battle Royale of horror guys.
but again, the hard part would be, number one, getting all these different studios to license it for you.
Yeah.
And
It'd be
number
a problem.
two, it would be. And number two, if they license it to you, they would want their characters to be the best.
Yeah.
So
Like, you just have me thinking now of, like, every horror figure, like the tall man from Phantasm with his silver balls of death that he has fly through the air with blades on and cut people open. And that would be a perfect weapon in a Super Smash Brothers game.
Well,
then I
idea
think
number two,
I think
baby.
Of the Creeper. I think of the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers with the trench coat and the hat and the big wings and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, there's so many to choose from. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, you can have it boss fights, but you could also do like worlds. Like, I know we talked about this before. The Walking Dead. Imagine a whole map of like trying to make your way through zombies to save somebody, and that would be part of the experience as a whole. So there'd be like 30 different things you could do. Fight bosses, go into worlds to save people, just try and survive and make it out of an area, like from point A, from an area to point B. I mean, the ideas are endless with that. And then
Okay.
make a standalone fighting game on the side. Ho!
Awesome.
I wouldn't mind that. Like I will keep breathing heavily until the day comes that someone actually makes a good adventure horror game, whether it's based off of a legendary IP or if it's just something fresh and new. But for that, if that can be done, I would like. I'm not good at fighting games. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Super Smash Bros. But if there was a horror game where you could be like, hey, let's see who'd win between Freddy and Chucky, like. I would so be down to play that kind of game.
Yeah, right.
Chucky would have the odd job advantage.
Ho! Odd job.
He would have the speed. He'd have the speed where Freddy would be like just reach. He'd have the reach, and then Chucky
You
would
can't
have
get a
the speed.
headshot on Chucky. He's short.
Yeah, and so I picture them jumping from platform to platform on the same battle, like on the same screen in the battle and everything. And like Chucky has his little kitchen knife, and Freddy has his one-handed claw. glove, and then just all this crazy stuff, and then Chucky with like that would be like the best battle with the best one-liners, because Chucky and Freddy have the best one-liners. In my opinion. That'd be cool.
Gremlins.
It's not really scary in my book. That was a
No, but I mean the whole scene that could be another world in the game. You know, it could comprise of.
I could see you could play
different
Gizmo,
styles.
and you could turn into a gremlin to fight. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think a game would be cool that does that.
That'd be cool. I agree. I concur, sir. So, you know, it'd be really cool. What is Spike's topic? The end of the
Worst segue ever.
That's a segue.
Worst segue. Hey, why don't you go take a segue and take it off a cliff? Oh.
Okay, that joke is getting not even old anymore. That joke is like genius. Like that's
Too soon.
There's like no reaction to the joke anymore.
There is a
Well,
reaction.
before I start my
The hate.
topic,
It is go hate.
Roots, why don't you go ahead and beg for some more followers?
Everybody, thank you for tuning in to Deep Roots Games. We have our title topic of discussion up next. If you guys like us, then go ahead, give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe. And remember, look at this. What's this called? Name this podcast. Go ahead and submit a name for this podcast. If you're in Twitch, type it in the chat now. If you're watching on YouTube, leave it in the comments. And we will look into changing the name to the one you've suggested if it doesn't suck.
Nicely done. That was like a little commercial break. I like that. That was good.
Thank you, sir. Eat
Back
your
to your
Wheaties.
regularly scheduled program. So,
Spike, what's your topic?
So Halloween's coming, guys, and as we are all players of the video games, I'm sure there's been a time or two where you just felt scared. I want to talk about those times. You know, let me know when you just were freaked out, or you got jump scared, or you were just like, oh shit. And you just, what are the scariest times in games for you? Let's hear some examples.
I'll go ahead and go.
Roots. Oh, what's that in the background?
Did somebody say scared? I am never scared. Okay, I'm lying. So, we were talking about a game earlier, Spike, and that game was Resident Evil 1.
Yes.
So I
The original.
remember the first time I ever played Resident Evil 1. I was originally playing Fight Night on the PlayStation 2? One. And whoever's PlayStation I was playing on, it was like 7 or 8 at night, maybe later. They had Resident Evil there.
You had to have been like, what, 10?
Something like that. Yeah. I think I was like 10 or 12 in that range. So, they had Resident Evil. I'm like, what's this? They laughed at me and said, put it in. It's a pretty good game. And I put it in. And I'm playing. And I'm like, man, this game is freaking creepy as hell. It's late. The lights are off. I'm looking around. People, like 1 or 2 persons watching me play, so I'm not scared. And then it happens. The part that we were talking about that you don't want to spoil, even though the game's 20 years old.
You pooed your pants.
And I was
The
like,
very first zombie?
no, was it the zombie or the zombie dog?
The
Was
first
it the
jump
zombie
scare.
that comes out of the window in the hallway?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the dogs. That's the hallway.
Yeah, that's the one that got me. I was like, oh shit.
The very
so
first zombie you
quiet,
see, you
it's
come
so
across him and
quiet,
he's eating, and he turns around real slow, and it's
That's
full
right.
video,
I
and he's
remember
like,
that.
"Rah," he's got like.
Yeah,
no
it is
hands.
though. It's the dogs when they jump through because that noise, that sound is so visceral. It's just, just like,
And then you're like, I gotta get. Yeah, and then I stopped playing after that. So yes, that was the very was that the very first like scare? I don't know if that was the very first like scary game I played, but that was the biggest memory I have. Just playing that, bam, through the window, and I'm like, and then I remember just turning it off after that, and just trying to forget that that ever happened.
Nice. Good old Resident Evil.
Yeah.
How about you? You got yours? You want me to go?
I'll go. I should make it clear that we are S-ing the D of Resident Evil tonight because my one is Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Nemesis. Okay, so that's 3.
Like your topic, your question is the scariest moment in a video game experience, and I'm going all the way back to the very beginning, to the very, very, very first time I truly felt like the most scared by playing a game. Resident Evil scared me too, but those are just like moments that, like how you were just talking about, Roots. Like those are just moments out of pure utter silence that just, oh God, catches you off guard. Like, but Nemesis, hell with that game. I can't believe I finished that game. Like, that was, like, the graphics back then for when we were kids was like, wow, this is amazing. But even still back then, you would have to admit as a child, like, I can't see half of the shit on the screen because it's so pixelated and blocky and shit. But it wasn't so much about the fear of what it is I saw as much as it was about just the fear of, oh shit, it's happening. And that would be any effing time Nemesis would show up, and it would be like the tank in Left 4 Dead. The music would change. You get the big old drop sound, and it just, and the music would just be playing like, oh my God! And you just have to run your ass off, and it really was like every moment. I think there was like 4 or 5 times in the game that Nemesis just shows up randomly as you're like, whew, I got all that done. I survived all those zombies. I got all what I needed. All my herbs. I got all my ammo. Got these guns. All my inventory's pretty good. I'm healed up. It's time to move. Boom! And it would be Nemesis chasing you. It was the thought. It's the idea that Nemesis is hunting you the entire game. And then anytime he'd find you, you'd think you're safe, and then he'd be like, "Hey, I'm back!" Like that scared the shit out of me. Aside from
literal
everything
shit.
else, like aside from everything else I've ever played, that would be the scariest shit. Like other times, like I could say I was scared in Skyrim because of how deep those caves went into the ground, and you didn't know what the hell was coming around the corner. But Nemesis was like the most scared I've ever been from a game. And I played the newest Resident Evil, and that shit just made me go, wow. Like, it wasn't even scary. It was like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't, like, that was truly the scariest I've ever been playing a game.
Yeah. Resident Evil's classic.
Mm-hmm.
Spike!
For me, when I think of scary, right? Like, I mean, what you guys are saying, I definitely have probably a couple examples of those. But another thing that jumps to my mind was we were talking about earlier is the idea of The Last of Us. So, I know for me, I mean, I have a family, so the feels are even more crazy for me in that movie, that game. So, like, everything from how it starts, like, that is utterly terrifying to somebody who's a parent. I mean, like, that's probably more scary than any other like horror slasher or anything like that. Just that circumstance, what happens in the beginning of that game, is just
has that game Spike. Just for the audience that might not know, I think we could inform people what happens at the beginning of that game for the uninitiated.
Yeah, so it starts off with Joel and his daughter, and they're just hanging out, chilling, and then, like, they go to sleep or whatever, and shit goes down, and they wake up, and then they have to flee their house, and they're basically, like, I guess the apocalypse thing is starting, and they are running from it, and they almost get out of the city, and then the SWAT team shoots his daughter, and he's like holding her as she dies, and that's how the game starts. It gut checks you in the beginning, and like if you're not crying there in the beginning, then something's wrong with you.
Thank you for that, Spike. I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that might have shed some tears.
Like, I remember thinking, like, man, like, I don't know if I can keep playing this after that. Like, it was just too crazy. But like, that whole game, you know, like, that whole idea, like, it's so real, and like, the characters are so well done that's just scary. The way everything they're faced up against is just terrifying, and I feel for Joel and Ellie the whole time. And so yeah, that's kind of my cheesy one, but that to me is super scary. But other than that, when I think of just like traditionally horror games, one of them jumps out in my mind is Silent Hill 3. You guys were talking about Resident Evil, but I mean Silent Hill I think is in general more scary than Resident Evil.
I can see that.
So, Silent Hill, like 1 and 2 are awesome and all that, but for some reason I never owned them or whatever. But I owned Silent Hill 3, and like the audio in Silent Hill is dropped. If I had to like just put the sound effect in right now and turn off all the lights, I'd probably be like, nope, check it out. like they do it perfectly. I mean, just from the noises, like the whole. I mean. Everything from like the sound effects to the music to like how they blend it together. I mean, it's just terrifying. And Silent Hill 3 has kind of like a lot of like pyramid stuff, and that's just really scary. Like Fog of War, where you can't quite see what's in front of you, you know, and like kind of tank controls. So you like turn the corner and boom, there it is in your face. Silent Hill 3, yeah, it was one of those games where I actually beat it because I owned it. So most horror games I would never even like play all the way through because I was like playing it at a friend's house or something like that. But the fact that I ripped through the whole thing, so I got the full horror experience, so that it's most vivid in my mind. But it's definitely pretty fucking terrifying. That was probably like my scariest game.
Silent Hill. I remember playing. What was I played the demo. I played a little bit at a friend's house, but I never played 2. I played, was it 4? I played part of, I think, 4. Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't really play nearly as much Silent Hill as I did Resident Evil. But I do remember what you're talking about with the Fog of War. I remember one point I go to leave a diner or something, and there's these flying things that just come out of nowhere because you can't see in front of you. And yeah, that game was pretty good game. I think Silent Hill was underrated. You had to have been heartbroken when PT fell through.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about PT.
That was scary.
Raise your hand if you played legitly, not like watched a video of it.
Hand raised. I purposely played at night.
Stop. What game?
PT.
It was a demo.
PT. What's it stand for?
So
no one really knows. It's basically Kojima was gonna do Silent Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a demo that you could have played on the PlayStation for free, and it's basically gone now. So if you don't have it, you can't play it.
I heard about it.
I have it on my console. So Roots, you actually played through the whole PT?
Well, I didn't know how to get through it, but I did play it without any.
Like if you get it to roll the credits, there's like a scene at the end. With,
yeah. I did do that.
Yeah, that's like beating it essentially.
Oh well, wasn't there? No, well, it was gonna be Silent Hill, but
no,
the demo.
Wasn't it like Death Stranding or some shit like that?
No, that's his new one coming out.
Yeah, so what happened was Konami shut down Guillermo del Toro, Norman Reedus, and Kojima's Silent Hills project because of the fallout with Konami and Kojima. So what they did was they're moving on to Kojima's next project together, which is Death Stranding, where he includes them without Konami. So,
So wait.
I played through at night, in the dark, with a headset, almost cried. What?
It's yeah, there's a couple times where it really gets scary. I mean, the part where like the thing baby crying in the bathroom. I'm
Oh
like,
my God. Yeah.
nope.
I was doing the same thing. I'm like, no, I gotta turn on the fucking lights for a little bit. I can't.
The first time I got killed by the ghost lady, like I legit almost shit my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
E3 2016, Death Stranding. That's the name of that game footage that was at E3 2016. What you guys are saying,
Nah.
that is Death Stranding.
No.
This is an article I'm reading from 2016, June 13th.
No, it was gonna be called Silent Hills if it ever came out, but
Yeah, you're
it has
reading
almost
the
all the
announcement.
same characters and stuff.
Yeah, the Kojima literally took Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus and said, "Fuck you, Konami. We're gonna go make a game over here." So it's the
but
same
this
exact
trailer-
people.
This trailer is that footage.
Highball's never played
No,
PT. That would be great if we could get
no.
him to play it. And
Yeah. No, PT was something totally different, Highball, I promise you. PT was a demo that had no names attached to it at first. And then as E3 2015, I believe it was, approached, they finally told everybody once people
you gotta
actually
download
found the
it.
Easter egg.
So that footage of Norman Reedus on the death beach, whatever, and he finds the
That's
baby.
totally different. That's Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
That's
And
not PT.
this-
Nothing to do with PT at all.
He has a cutscene at the end of PT, but it's just him walking down a road with like a flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost like Detective Norman Reedus.
But yeah, seriously, one of the scariest experiences I probably had was PT. Yeah, now that I think about it, you reminded me of that. Really terrifying.
Yeah, I agree. That is actually worse than first Resident Evil when I was younger. Yeah, because that whole just the fucking noise getting louder and you going through the loop of the hall, and then when
yeah.
you actually got the lights turned on, oh my God! Then the lights were flashing and you're like, holy shit!
Yeah, if you want to see, watch a playthrough of it, but you do just somebody who like doesn't talk a lot, and you should. It's like probably like a 10-15 minute loop, but it's pretty scary.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch through without someone talking all over it.
Yeah. I think that does it for me and my topic, guys.
Spike, thank you for that topic. Thank you for PT.
Halloween.
Man, I missed that.
Scary.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Copyright. Oh, what's that mean? That means shove it up your butt. I don't know what it means. So, anybody who is enjoying the podcast, please give us a follow. Give us a like, drop kick, subscribe, ring some bells, ding some dang dongs. Yeah, oh man, I'm spooked. I hope you guys are ready for Halloween. I hope you guys are safe for Halloween.
Yeah, dude, you too, man.
And for anybody watching the podcast, I hope you are safe as well. If you missed the podcast, it is 9:30 every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, but we upload it a few days later onto the Tube of You. So subscribe to Deep Roots Games on the Tube of You, and you can catch any episode you missed on there. And just follow us throughout the week. We will stream for you. we will stream some. Oh my God, my head! Oh, I got 2 arrows in my head.
Sorry.
Why would you do this, you animal? But just
It's the horror. It's how they end it. It's the jump scare at the end.
I got no meds. Oh, I'm dead. Oh.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Goodbye.